And we call on all those who have contributed. Comrade, kunabantu abafaka imali kwi-trust yase Marikana. And then ndiyacinga ukuthi babeyifaka ngonqanelo lokusiza. Kodwa sithi ngoba siyabona bayathetha ngemali abayifaka kwi-trust ye-AMCU. Sithi loyo ocinga ukuthi wafaka imali yakhe ngemistake, obe akhuluma athetha kuma-television, sithi akeze azothetha nathi ofisini. Isigqeba se-AMCU will reimburse him or her that amount. We cannot allow the name of AMCU to be dragged in the mud by the mere 1 million rand. If you feel that 1 million you donated by mistake, we are freely to call the General Secretary of AMCU and the National Treasurer of AMCU and the Financial Committee of AMCU will arrange that transaction to pay your money back and leave us alone with our struggle. This Constitution of South Africa must fall. What is the right to housing in Section 26 of the Constitution when you are staying emikukwini? What is the right to choose an occupation of your choice in Section 22 of the Constitution where there is no employment? What is the right to equality in Section 9 of the Constitution when Froneman earns 350 million rands in the year and you are earning 20 rand per hour in terms of the National Minimum Wage Act? South Africa is the most unequal society in the world, with 20% super rich people and 60% super poor people. What is the right to life in Section 11 of the Constitution when South Africans are murdered every day and South Africa has become the murder capital of the world? What is the right to collective bargaining in Section 23? Bracket 5 of the Constitution, when the state is undermining the public service wage agreement in favor of austerity measures? What is the right to health, food, water, and social security in Section 27 of the Constitution, when 20 million people go to bed hungry every night? The public health system has collapsed. People are killed by contaminated water in Hammanskraal, and a majority of workers do not have medical aid, provident funds, and their employers are not even complying with the UIF. What is the right to education in Section 29 of the Constitution, when 500,000 children who enter grade 1 drop out before they reach grade 12? The curriculum they learn teaches them to be an inferior citizen. Graduates fail to find employment, and our children are taught to be the job seekers and not job creators. What is the right to human dignity in Section 10 of the Constitution, when 18 million people are on social grants, living as beggars, dependents on handouts? 8 million of our youths are on 350 social grants. Where is the human dignity in 350? This is equivalent to 1.6 billion a month. How many jobs can you create with 1.6 billion? This Constitution is the biggest obstacle to transform the needs to be set. They need to be set aside. A new Constitution referendum to be held to redefine South Africa that we want. The Constitution must embrace Ubuntu, respect to life. This one that we have does not respect our Ubuntu. Justice is understood in the eyes of the colonizer. Since the Lyon Commission in 1992 on health and safety and migrant labor system, nothing has been done on mine housing, turning hostel into family units, improving the mining communities. As AMCU, we even call for the amendments of Mine Health and Safety Act to ensure that they arrest all managers who are capable in killing workers and the mines who are always in repeatable accident. Especially, we are sitting with a pending arrest of Neil Froneman that the NPA is not willing to process it. We are saying to the NDPP, please issue the certificate of non-prosecution so that we can take further steps. I think we can call the AfriForum to arrest and prosecute Froneman. There is no justice for lily mine workers, yet we have a state that is wasting taxes trying to resolve the Ukraine and Russia conflicts. You cannot even fix sewer storages. You cannot fix even potholes. What you can do with Ukraine and Russia conflicts. You cannot even retrieve the container in Lilimine. What can you do? What peace can you bring between Russia and Ukraine if you cannot bring peace within yourselves? They also see leadership in the eyes of the colonizer. Politicians are not leaders. I'll keep on saying this. Let me repeat. Politicians are not leaders, as they are only interested in the term of office. The biggest lie being sold to us now is this system called coalitions. It is another way of keeping an illegitimate government into power. When I read the book of Luke chapter 16, from verse 19 to 27, it speaks about the man called Davis. This man was a rich man and opulent man. There was a man by the name of Lazarus. This man was sitting right in the gate of this rich man. But he never take care of Lazarus. He never minimized the poverty of Lazarus, but he maximized the poverty that was in Lazarus. But what is very interesting, this man, he never went to hell just because he never received Christ as a personal savior. He went to hell because he never looked after the source of Lazarus. I'm telling you, politicians of South Africa, Lemini Zanaguni is not far. It's getting closer by minute. The people of South Africa, they became a multitude of Lazarus. They are hungry, they are sick, but you cannot look after them. We are busy living your opulent life in the expense of the majority of the people of South Africa. It's not a sin to be rich. It's not sin to live an opulent life. But don't live that life in the expense of the majority and the monies that's supposed to give services to the people of South Africa. They see transformation in the eyes of the colonizer. These leaders have been sleeping through the revolution. In 1994, there is no one who had a vision of South Africa living in a global world. They went to Davos and signed trade agreements that are destroying local manufacturing industries. They did not see the coming of the fourth industrial revolution and need to transform the economy and the need to transform the economy. They introduced a democratic system without understanding the principle of governance, participating and accountability. Up to this day, they are still fast asleep. As I have said, that this country is on autopilot. We are so invisible under this democracy that we were invisible during apartheid government. If there is a true democracy in South Africa, why do we need to emphasize a race because we are one nation? We need to ask ourselves, who benefits from the division? We cannot continue to blame racism when we continue to score our own goals. Why do we always, when we do wrong things, we blame racism? Why always When we do, we fail to fix the potholes. We blame apartheid. We were in power for 29 years. We haven't even learned how to fix a pothole. We haven't even learned how to fix a robot. It is a disgrace. They see the right in the eyes of the colonizer. The human rights revolution has seized our minds more than the economic rights. People have more rights than decent lives. I want to warn you, comrades, the beginning of the demise of the Roman Empire was not a defeat in the battle, but was a moral degeneration. The Roman Empire was the most powerful empire. It was never defeated by any empire on the world, but the moral degeneration is what has destroyed the Roman Empire. South Africa is on a tipping edge, and we really need to be worried. The laws are the normative system that is created to regulate a social behavior. However, currently, criminals have more rights than the victims of crime. That's why I continue to say the police will not be able to end crime in this country until our constitution is amended. Telling the truth to the power, comrades, it has been a big sacrifice for AMCU to stand for the truth. Those who were supposed to be a vanguard of the working class, they came out gun blazing and calling AMCU a vigilante yellow union. As was confirmed in the Zondo Commission, those in power formed a counter-union such as WAU to destabilize AMCU using a covert methods. They even went to Netlek to limit the right to strike by reducing the duration of the strike to 5 days, after which compulsory interest arbitration would kick in. They tried to use Department of Labor to register AMCU, and they failed. There are some who are coming to you and pretending that they have been with you throughout this whole period. When the Marikana massacre took place in 2012, they were within the echelons of power. Go and check your history records. It is the fact, it is misleading the nation that have been there from the beginning while using a massacre to score a narrow political gains. AMCU has provided the real economic emancipation. In AMCU, economic emancipation is not a slogan. AMCU delivers economic emancipation. To us, we are still fighting for the better living of the working class in South Africa. Before AMCU became a majority in most of the mine, the workers were earning a mere 4,500 in particular year at Lonmin. They did not even qualify to pay SARS, a pays-you-earn, as they did not meet the taxable threshold. By that time, Lonmin was the third largest producer in the world, a platinum producer. However, its success was anchored on the back-breaking exploitation of South African resources and the workers. The arrogance of this system was supported by the toxic collusion between the state and business and some sweetheart trade unions. The call for concomitant action was to undermine the interest of black people in South Africa. These mines has given us silicosis, mutilated our limbs through mine accident, and ever incurring fatalities, and still had guards to shoot workers who were fighting for the better living conditions. In 2017, we managed to achieve the 12,500, which the Lonmin RDOs demanded when they were massacred in 2012. The current entry-level wage surface worker in Sibanye Lonmin is 15,500 RDOs. The general package, including wages and allowances, is 26,772 rand, 36 rand per month. Other general workers earn around 23,627.75 cents per month. 2023 in the 22-23 collective agreement. This is a real economic emancipation. AMCU has done very well, better than your political parties in South Africa. AMCU has brought a real economic emancipation in your lives. Go and ask your political party, what have they delivered in your life? But if you can ask AMCU, we will tell you we have delivered an economic emancipation. You used to attend all the meetings. You used to attend all AMCU meetings using a bicycle. You used to attend all the meetings of your political parties using taxis and bicycles. But today, you are attending your political meetings driving all sorts of kinds of cars. That is because of AMCU. It's not because of your political party. I can say this without any fear of contradiction. AMCU has bring economic emancipation in your life. You used to go home and visit your family 3 times a year. When it's Good Friday, when there is a death in the family, and when there is Christmas. But today, you go home anytime and any time of the year you want, because you have money in your pocket. The quest for truth and justice shall set you free. And as our theme for this year, I would rather be a prisoner of a dream than a slave of the past. The state capture is not corruption in the government only. The state capture is the capture of the mind of the African child who is hoping for freedom, hoping for a better life, while politician dines in the wine in opulence. The state capture is the capture of the mind of a black child who has been taught to be the docile and to feed off the crumbs from the table of Davis, as it was with Lazarus. Where social grants have been broken, our people's dignity, and make them a tolerant and postpone the real economic freedom they are entitled to. If it is only when our tolerance level are low that true leadership will emerge. Comrade, I must emphasize that as long our tolerance level as a South African is so high, there will be no leadership that will emerge. We need to break the chains of being held a hostage by a post-legacies of the struggle, credentials by comrades in corruption, supported by foreign direct investors who are looting the state resources, mismanaging the economy, and providing destructive leadership to the detriment of the millions of South Africans. These struggle credentials became a ticket to the looting table. We were fed the revolutionary rhetoric using the idealistic of Marxist theory. We are not eating the theory of Marxist. We need food. We need proper water. We need shelter. However, socialism went to the rich who shared resources around them, and capitalism was given to the poor who were left to compete for the scrums, as it was in the table of an opulent person, Davis, in Luke chapter 16. To this day, 12 million South Africans are unemployed. Our children are given 350 social grants, which cost about 1.6 billion rand a month. 8 million youths are on the social grant, which has transformed them into beggars. Comrade, if the 350 social grant was sufficient, we call to the president that the Minister of Social Development must also be paid 350 a month. Let me repeat. If the 350 rand, which is a social grant that is given to the young South African, is sufficient to keep you for 31 days with your family, we call upon the state president to reduce the salary of the Minister of Social Development to 350 rand. Let them feel, let it be in the shoes of those people. They have managed to kill a historic manufacturing economy which used to have a flagship companies such as Highfield Steel, Score Metals, Denel, SAA, Transnet, and all the parastatal state, and all were put into the hands of privatization and foreign direct investors. We are prisoners of the dream of a better future. We are prisoners of a dream in which South Africa is left behind regardless of a race. We are prisoners of the dream in which the mineral wealth of this country benefits the South African and not the foreign investors. We are the prisoners of the dream of which traditional leaders are giving rightful power through devolution to lead and manage the affairs of their kingdom with the full control of the resources. We are the prisoners of a dream in which South Africans can empower by the wealth of the country and not share ownership scheme given by foreign companies through triple BE and all the schemes called ESOP. We are the prisoners of the dream in which South African economy owned by the South African and the companies in the JSE have more South African owners and directors than the foreigners. We are the prisoners of the dream in which South Africa companies are multi-international doing business in other countries. We are the prisoners of the dream in which education system of this country leads to innovation and technology development. We are the prisoners of the dream in which we have more people at work than in the social grant. We want a full employment and zero unemployment. We are the prisoners of the dream in which workers earn a high salary and have spending power in a wage-led economy. We are the prisoners of the dream in which workers are the owners of the means of production and the wealth of the country. We wanted to buy Lonmin. The workers of Lonmin wanted to buy Lonmin using their own provident fund, but the new liberalist government stopped the workers and give this mine to Sibanye. This led to 8 executives of Sibanye, former Lonmin, paying themselves 800 million in 2021. The money that could have been shared among 30,000 workers if they were owning this mine. We are the prisoners of the dream in which no CEO in this country can earn a salary more than the state president of the country. We are the prisoners of the dream in which poverty is eliminated totally and there is no South African child who sleeps on an empty stomach. We are the prisoners of the dream in which there is no austerity measures in the public spending and public service salaries. We are the prisoners of the dream in which crime is eliminated. Those who rape women and those who rape our young girls, their genitals are mutilated. Nditi, abo abarepa o mama, abo abarepa o sisi bethu, abo abarepa izingane zethu, sithi ubudoda babo mabususwe. We are prisoners of a dream in which our economy is industrialized and the majority of the minerals are beneficiated locally. We are the prisoners of a dream in which the state president is elected by the people and not by the parliament. And the current parliamentary democracy is replaced by the presidential democracy. Only a caring leadership will deliver this future. The future that we dream of can only be delivered by those who are leading with compassion, leading with integrity and decisive action. To date, we have managed to build houses, as Comrade Tebuko Advocate Msikedi has mentioned. And those that houses are not being built because of family challenges, which we cannot be part of it. The trust has taken a decision that they will compensate them with the equivalent money that has built other houses, of which that money will be deposited in a trust account. AMCU was the first union to pay widows of Marikana massacre 12,500 before even the workers who were the part of the struggle and this money in Lonmin. Our integrity has always been our moral compass, and we call on all those who have contributed. Comrade, kunabantu abafaka imali kwi-trust yaseMarikana. And then ndiyacinga ukuthi babeyifaka ngonqwenelo lokusiza. Kodwa sithi ngoba siyabona bayathetha ngemali abayifaka kwi-trust ye-AMCU. Sithi loyo ocinga ukuthi wafaka imali yakhe ngemistake, obe akhuluma athetha kuma-television, sithi akeze azothetha nathi ofisini. Isigqeba se-AMCU will reimburse him or her that amount. We cannot allow the name of AMCU to be dragged in the mud by the mere 1 million rand. If you feel that 1 million you donated by mistake, we are freely to call the General Secretary of AMCU and the National Treasurer of AMCU and the Financial Committee of AMCU will arrange that transaction to pay your money back and leave us alone with our struggle. The blood of the massacre of Marikana massacre workers still cry from the ground. Those who call for concomitant action are now presiding on a chaotic government. They will never have peace because the vengeance is not ours. Our vengeance comes from the Lord. And you could see clearly that the government that they are leading is chaotic. Every week there is a massacre in this country. High level of crime, reaching the pandemic. Police are killed in the daylight. This is the failed state. If the police are killed, women and men in blue uniforms are killed in the daylight, but the state president is cold. But when there was a COVID, he was able to sanction each and every province and lock it down. What is it that failed the state president to put a state emergency where there is a pandemic of crime? The police are killed every day. Women are murdered every hour. Today we've got a minister of load shedding. People are committing suicide due to depression. We read recently that one woman committed suicide with her children because of hunger. How can you be hungry in the land of plenty? We've got minerals. All the minerals of the world are in South Africa. But we are faced with depression. We are faced with hunger. Ma-Africa, let's reset our mind. Let's go and demand what is rightful ours. Graduates are unemployed. We've got 7.5 million people who are employed. Using a narrow definition of 42%, using a broader definition is 12 million people. IMF loans are buying the future of our children. Without any fear of contradiction, The very same 350, I believe, are the loans from IMF. They are buying the future of our children in order to be dependent to the state. There is no social wage with a dysfunctional public transport system. Commercial crimes around cable theft. Inequality has reached obscene level with the CEO earning salaries equivalent to the total wage bill of the mines. Kuyakhulwa apha eSouth Africa. U-CEO oyedwa uhola umholo odlula abasebenzi about 20,000 emayini yakhe. Who lives with the consequences of the decision taken by the politicians? Do leaders understand the consequences of their decisions and the impact they have on the lives of the poor? Comrades, I will share with you some of the decisions whose consequences have created the challenges in the lives of many people. Who takes the responsibility for the dysfunctional ESCOM when workers are losing jobs daily and those in power have access to generators and solar panels in their homes? We have tolerated load shedding until it has now become a new normal. Whose lives, with the consequence of high crime rates due to the weak justice system? I have said this before, the police will never end crime in this country. It is a cash release system. The people who suffer the consequences are the poor who do not have money to pay for security, to pay for the alarm system, who lives with the consequences of their decision of femicide and murder when our laws giving more protection to the perpetrators than victims. This notion that everyone is innocent until proven guilty is not working in a system where the gender-based violence has reached the femicide level in a sexual offenses. We must change the rules of natural justice to a guilty until proven innocent, instead of innocent until proven guilty. Who lives with the consequence of corruption when billions are stolen and there are no arrests made? Corruption is both an economic and social crime, as services that were meant to be given to the people are diverted to enrich a powerful and connected. Comrade, corruption is not in the government only. Corruption is not in the government only. Corruption starts in the private sector with illicit financial flows. When we talk about illicit financial flows, without any fear of contradiction, AMCU in 2013, before any person in the public platform raised the issue of illicit financial flow, was AMCU in our 5 months strike in 2013. You cannot come today and tell us that we are lying, that it's AMCU who taught the members that Lonmin was paying 300 million per month to the Bermuda Island bank account with only a post box, without any office, without any debt. That was AMCU who exposed Lonmin to the government of the illicit flow before it was mentioned in that parliament in Cape Town. I can even go further. Comrade Brian from AIDC, he was the one who was assisting us with Dr. Fosland, the economist, who came. We gave him money to go and do the research. Whether can the Lonmin, after the massacre, be able to pay workers 12,500? In the 5-month strike, they came with the documents that are saying, yes, indeed, Lonmin can pay 12,500 because there is an illicit financial flow. Loanmin is paying the Bermuda's connection 300 million per month. Let's not contradict the history. Some political parties were not formed by then. Who lives with the consequences of voting in the leaders that do not care about their followers? When politicians look at you, they see votes and seats in the parliament. They don't see through the eye of poverty. They don't see you as a person that you need a better life. When they fill in the stadium, they see members to give them seats in a council. If you are the leader, if you are the true leader, you cannot tell people to vote for you. A leader does not call people to vote for them. A leader presents the position of the oppressed and the people decide to follow you. I will never call for the people to vote, to join AMCU. People, they join AMCU. The workers, they join AMCU. Why they join AMCU? Is because of the integrity. Is because of the steadfastness of the leaders. Is because in the manner in which we respect our members. Comrade, in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 26, God says, let us make man in our own image to have power over creatures. South Africans, we have to blame ourselves. If you read this book that I've just read, God made us in his image to have dominion, power over creatures, the phofolo. uNkulunkulu senze ngomfanekiso wakhe ukuthi sibe namandla phezu kwezilwane, not phezu kwabantu. We are all leaders. If we can start respecting ourselves, then the politician will start respecting us. They are talking down to us as if we are followers. You are not a follower. You are a leader yourself, as much as they are the leaders. You are not the followers of AMCU. We are also a leader of AMCU. Comrade, we should not tolerate crime. We should not tolerate any poverty in our lifetime. We should not tolerate poor public health. We should not tolerate poor education system. We should not tolerate mining companies exploiting the resources without gain. We should not tolerate a country where our social wage is diminished through the selling of SOEs to the private sector. The recent unbundling of ESCOM is start to privatization, a basic human need. The need for the electricity. Many of our labor federation agreed to this at NEDLEC, and now they cry foul when their plans come to fruition. We should not tolerate retail economy. We cannot replace industrialization with the malls. We should not tolerate a lack of diversity of the mineral. This mineral, 60% can be exported, but 40% of the mineral must stay behind for industrialization and beneficiate. We should not tolerate a dysfunctional political system. We need a federalism where the real power is given to the provinces, where the traditional leaders to run their affairs, develop their laws, economic system, curriculum relevant to the resources that are available to their communities. We should not tolerate illicit financial flows. It is only when the tolerance level are low that a true leadership will emerge. Comrade, we need women and men that will stand in the gap. As Ezekiel 22 verse 30 said, I look, I didn't find anyone who can stand in the gap. We can stand in the gap. Comrade, 2024 is coming. What I'm appealing to you, any political party, you must check their manifesto. If their manifesto, there is nothing calling the 16th of August as a public holiday, run away from that political party. Amandla! If your political party, in their manifesto, they don't have a clause that says the Constitution of South Africa must be amended or must fall, and let's redesign our own Constitution that will talk to us as South Africans. Run away from that political party. If you go to your political party and you find that their manifesto does not protect the SOE, state-owned enterprises, run away from that political party. If your political party talks about privatization of the SOEs, that is not good for the future of your children. Run away from that political party. It's not for the African, it's for the West. Comrade, we believe that there is a big conference somewhere in Captain Park. I wonder whether it's CODESA 4 or CODESA 5, where the other so-called political leaders are sitting there. They are discussing our future without us. They are discussing another new way of clinging to power. Oh, comrade, it is so painful to mention this, but I have to mention this. If we had a living, independent South African Communist Party, that was the one who was supposed to call imbizo of the working class to define our future as the working class. But we as workers, we need to redefine our cause. We need to see how we go forward, because all these politicians, as they are sitting where they are discussing about our future. You must understand, the DA will be talking about privatization, and the rest will be just following. We are living in a government, in the country, where it supports neoliberalism. Comrade, SOEs are your living, are your social wage. Social wage is your rails. Your social wage is the water. Your social wage is the infrastructure that we are paying through our tax to give the service to the poor of the poorest. If you privatize SOEs, ilanga limchonele umntu omnyama eSouth Africa. Comrade, we must not allow the budget in October to present austerity or to privatize SOEs. If we allow that as workers, bagwethu liphelile South Africa. Comrade, vote wisely. Vote wisely. When you put your cross, think about that decision. Because you are not going to live your decision, but you'll be living the consequences of your decision. The consequences of your decision, that is what will keep you in poverty. When you go and give the cross to any of your political parties, think thorough with that decision. Because the decision, we are not going to live the decision, but you'll be living the consequences of your decision. As we are in poverty, as there is no service delivery, is because of the consequences of the decision that we took 5 years ago. Amandla! Maibuye Africa, maibuye! Andiniva, comrade, andiniva. Amandla! Maibuye Africa, maibuye! Comrade, let us not sleep through through the revolution. The fourth industrial revolution is with us. We need leaders. We need leaders that will think about the future of our children. We are tired of gimmick rhetoric of slogans that are not bringing food in our table. We are tired of the Marxist theories that does not give us employment. We need leaders and politicians and political parties that will be true Africans, that will embrace the ethos of South Africans, that will embrace Ubuntu, Betu, Amandla.